Story. Today's story is titled The Tortoise and the Birds. It originated from the great people of Nigeria. Get ready for a fun adventure with a lesson you can't forget. Long ago, the birds of the sky were invited to a grand feast in the clouds. There would be food, music, and dancing, a royal celebration from the Sky King himself. All the birds were buzzing with excitement. They chirped and fluttered, gathering together to prepare for the big day. But someone else had heard about the feast. Tortoise. Now, Tortoise had no feathers. He could not fly. But he did have a plan. He waddled up to the birds and said, "Dear friends, let me come with you. I may not have wings, but I have fine manners and clever words. Surely that's worth something." The birds whispered among themselves. They knew Tortoise was tricky, but he was also very persuasive. Finally, they agreed. Each bird gave him one feather, and soon Tortoise had a pair of colorful wings. As they soared through the sky, Tortoise said, "Let's all choose fancy new names for the feast. It's a royal event after all." The birds laughed and agreed. One chose Golden Song, another chose Feather Dancer, and Tortoise, he chose the name All of You. The birds didn't think much of it. When they arrived, the Sky King greeted them with joy. "Welcome. The feast is prepared for all of you." Tortoise stepped forward. "That's me, Your Majesty. I am all of you. Thank you." And then he ate. He ate and ate and ate. Not a crumb of yam or spoon of soup was left for the birds. The birds were furious. "You tricked us. You used our feathers and took all the food." And one by one, they took their feathers back. Desperate, Tortoise called down to his wife. Wife, bring out all the soft things in the house. Blankets, pillows, leaves, anything to cushion my fall." But Tortoise's wife did not hear clearly. Instead of soft things, she brought out all the hard things she could find: mortars, pestles, and grinding stones. Tortoise jumped. He crashed to the ground. His shell shattered into pieces. The villagers helped glue it back with bark and clay, but the cracks remained. And that is why Tortoise's shell is not smooth, but cracked and rough. Moral of the story: greed and trickery may bring short-term rewards, but they often lead to long-lasting consequences. What did you learn from the story? Anansi and the Pot of Wisdom. It originated from the beautiful people of Ghana. Get ready for a fun adventure with a lesson you can't forget. Long ago, in a time when wisdom was scattered across the earth, Anansi the spider decided that he wanted to gather all the wisdom in the world and keep it for himself. He believed that if he had all the wisdom, he would be the smartest creature alive, and everyone would have to come to him for advice. So, Anansi traveled far and wide, collecting bits of wisdom wherever he could find them. Inside anthills, under rocks, in the winds, and even in the eyes of owls. He put every piece he found into a large clay pot. When he believed he had gathered all the wisdom in the world, he said to himself, "Now, I must hide this pot where no one else can reach it." He decided to climb the tallest tree in the forest and tie the pot to the topmost branch. That way, no creature would ever find it. But there was one problem. Anansi tied the pot around his belly, and every time he climbed, the pot got in the way. It swung back and forth, hitting the tree trunk and making it difficult to climb. and Tikuma, his son, watched from the ground and called out, "Father, why don't you tie the pot behind your back? That way, it won't get in the way." Anansi paused. He was shocked. His young son, who hadn't even seen the pot of wisdom, had come up with a smarter idea than he had. Anansi sat in a tree, scratching his head. If my little son can be this wise, then I haven't collected all the wisdom after all. In his anger and embarrassment, Anansi dropped the pot. It shattered on the ground, and all the wisdom scattered once again into the wind, into the rivers, into the people, and across the earth. And that is why today everyone has a little bit of wisdom. No one has it all, but everyone has something to share. Today's story is titled The Clever Hare and the Lion. It originated from the brave people of South Africa. Get ready for a fun adventure you can't forget. Once upon a time, deep in the golden savannah of southern Africa, there lived a fierce and proud lion. He had crowned himself king not by kindness but by fear. Every day, the animals were forced to bring him food. If they didn't, he would roar so loudly that the trees would tremble and the birds would stop flying. The animals were tired, but no one dared speak up. Under the shade of the great baobab tree, the animals gathered in sadness. Tortoise hid in his shell. Monkey held his head in his hands. Gazelle stared at the ground. No one knew what to do, except one small voice, Hare. Tiny but wise, the hare watched silently, his eyes full of thought. That night, with the stars above and the moon glowing softly, Hare called the animals together. "I have a plan," he whispered, "but you must trust me." The others leaned in, curious and a little hopeful. Hare's ears twitched with determination. It's time to teach the lion a lesson. The next morning, Hare bounced into the lion's den with an urgent look on his face. "Oh, mighty king," Hare shouted, "I was bringing you food, a big one, but another lion stopped me." The lion's eyes widened. "Another lion," he growled. "Yes," said Hare. "He says he is the real king. He lives in a cave not far from here. He said, you are too weak to rule." The lion roared so loudly the rocks shook. "Take me to him." Hare led the lion to a quiet cave where the moonlight danced on a still pool of water. "There," said Hare. "He's inside, waiting." Lion crept in and looked down. He saw a lion staring back at him, eyes narrow, teeth bared, just like him. "He dares to look me in the eye," Lion shouted, and before Hare could say another word, Lion leapt into the water. Splash! Water flew everywhere, but there was no other lion, only Lion's own reflection. That day, the lion was too embarrassed to return, and the savannah, it came alive with celebration. Monkey flipped joyfully, birds soared in the sky, and Hare sat quietly under the baobab tree, smiling. He didn't need a crown to be a leader. He had used his mind and saved them all. The moral of the story is, wisdom is stronger than fear. Even the smallest voice can change everything. What did you learn from this story? Thank you for coming with us on today's adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye.